So tell me, what about you skipped the part of the wrestling, WWE?
Yeah. Okay. So honestly, that's why I went to LA. Okay. I tried out for the WWE Diva Search in 2007, which is like 2 years after college, right? And they literally audition all over the country. I'm sorry, all over the U.S. So then they pick the top 100 girls and they fly you to California, Orange County, and then you go to Huntington Beach. So I basically made the top 100, and then we're all there. We compete for like a whole day. We do an obstacle course, like an interview round, all these things. And I ended up making the top 8. The top 8 are the ones that actually compete the Diva Search for the winner. And so that was just like a huge accomplishment. And it was back when MySpace was cool. Yeah. And I remember I had someone like managing my MySpace for me and like replying to basically fans. Like literally that's a huge population of people that watch WWE. I'd be shocked.
I was a big WWE watcher.
Really? Yeah. So Eve Torres was the year I competed, she won. Yeah. And I ended up getting 4th place. So I got voted off after. It was like the American Idol. People basically vote for you. Like they text in. You
saw this movie that just came out recently, and they were talking about that. It was that girl, I can't remember. She wanted to be a wrestler.
Stacey, or was she actually a WWE?
Yeah.
Stacey Keebler?
No. Stacey was blonde, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Stacey was blonde. Now this girl, it was a movie all about her. Rock was in this movie too. They had a family. I mean, it was out of England, I think. It was an English family.
Okay.
They loved wrestling, and she ends up going, and I mean, she makes it.
Oh, really? So it was a movie or it was a documentary?
No, it's a movie.
Okay.
And they say it's a real story. Vince Vaughn was in this movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. You need to definitely check it out.
It sounds good.
I'll get you the name.
Yeah. So that triggered kind of that, again, like a different kind of competition, right? I like the fact that there was the athletic side to being a diva, and I even went and trained at Booker T. Washington's gym, downtown. So I was like all in. I flew to New York and was on like Maxim Sirius Radio. I would go wherever I needed to go to get the fans' votes. I was on like 94.5 The Buzz, like all the radio stations here, just like promoting, because it was like, if I won, it's great for Houston,
great. And I saw that when I saw that movie, I mean, you can tell that the competition is not easy. I mean, it's hard.
No, it's like it's not just like pretty skinny girls. Like you have to be fit, and have like kind of a different edge to you.
And you have to be athletic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So definitely that's for sure. So then what happened? Yeah.
So when the Diva Search kind of came to an end, and I didn't fully win it. So you know what? Before you move out of the
away from the WWE Diva, I want to hear some inside scoop, something that happened in WWE that you can share with us that people don't know about.
Yeah. So
some inside scoop.
Oh my goodness, man, I'm trying to think of. So I wasn't a big fan of like before. So like I know Hulk Hogan and like certain people that like the world knows, but there were some guys that I and if you named a few of them, but I literally hung out with like.
So you were in 2007. So I mean, Eddie Guerrero, I think, was still alive and fighting. Eddie. I don't know if you ever met Eddie Guerrero's wife, Stacey Guerrero.
No,
I think she lives in Houston. She was in WWE.
Okay.
What about The Rock? Tell me you met The Rock.
I didn't meet The Rock.
Okay.
It's because literally the competition was that full day in Huntington.
Carlos, do you know any WWE fighters that were fighting in 2007? Let's find out in WWE 2007.
I was with some of like the veterans one trip that I took, because it was like
what about Stone Cold Steve Austin?
No, I didn't get to meet like some of these legends, right?
What about you worked out with Booker T at
I did
Booker T's gym,
Booker
so you met
T.
him?
I did meet him. Got pictures with him and stuff. If you do like Jessica Hatch WWE, there might be some pictures with some of the old wrestlers that because we would go and do like little signings, like autograph signings, and some of them would be at those events, because within the time frame of the diva search, you're technically still like the possible winner. So people look at you like you're a diva already. And so these little kids are like, getting my autograph. And
so that experience must have been really, something. Would you change anything?
It felt natural.
would you change anything if you have to redo it? Would you go back and do the diva search
honestly,
again?
I feel like I could win it like right now.
Really?
I feel like how like some people, like when you're like, oh, like I looked better younger. I feel like my maturity is like, I look back, I don't know what happened to my eyebrows. Like they were like not cute back then. Like, I've got a little bit of lip filler, that doesn't make a big difference, but I just feel like I like would have done better right now. I'm like, can I compete again right now? I swear.
Like, hey, WWE, let me come in and do a diva search again.
Yeah.
So you met Eve.
Yeah, Eve was like, she was the one that won that year. So,
what about Lita? Was she fighting at that time?
How do you remember these names? Good for you.
I just do.
Yeah.
Big watcher of the show.
I used to watch. I was watching. There was like this meme on Facebook or Instagram yesterday, and it was this. It was just like a story, like one of the posts, not a meme, but it was a post that Stone Cold was with Booker T, and it's like this time that Booker T was in a grocery store, and Stone Cold gets on this PA systems, and Booker T is looking at it. I'm like watching it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I used to watch this shit all the time. This is so fake.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like some of the moves that, like you see it and you're like, that's gotta hurt. But like the way that you like learn to land and like on your back and your shoulder and like jumping off, from the ring, it's just so different. Like you would think that it's like tearing your body up. It's still aggressive, but the way that the mats are, like you have to learn to like, fall appropriately. But a lot of it is very aggressive. Like when I would go train, I would have bruises like easily, but it wasn't stuff where like I felt like I was going to break my back, like the way that they make it seem.
Yeah, but I'm sure when somebody picks you up and then body slams you, gotta hurt a little bit.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you definitely,
How much time did you spend training?
So I would go over there, during the diva search time, because I was just kind of preparing for like, if I win, like not all the girls like end up wrestling, and I was planning on going all in. Some of them just end up walking the guys out. But I probably went like, at least every day for like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I really like, took it serious. Just being in there with him, like, Booker's huge, and just like the fact that, he's, obviously been a huge WWE like wrestler for years, and that, I can walk into a studio in Houston and like train with him. Like that was kind of unique.
Yeah, of course. What's your most memorable moment though?
Probably just like when I initially like walked in and met him with like all his like dreads and just like shook his like oversized hand. It was just like, this is like crazy. Like, of course, had it gone further, there would have been so many more of like, guys like him that would have been buddies with. But I think just kind of that initial meeting with him.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock,
Mm-hmm.
he's somebody I admire, I look up to. So it would have been really nice if you would have stayed. Maybe you would have introduced me to him.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I'll get you.
Well, if Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is listening to my show ever, let me know, buddy. Hit me up, okay?
Yes, please.
So, please, we need to get to meet you. I was listening to this other podcast the other day, and can't remember this girl, but she used to go by Superwoman. You know who I'm talking about?
It was like her nickname was Superwoman?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's Indian girl. I can't remember her name. Lily Singh, right?
Okay.
Lily Singh.
I need to Google her, yeah.
And she said something like that one day, and on her YouTube thing, and now next thing you know, The Rock is her mentor.
Oh, look at that.
And I'm like, well, how come this shit can't happen with me?
Yeah.
I need The Rock.
Right?
If you smell what The Rock is.
You
cooking.
sound like one of the hosts on like WWE, right? Yeah, like
WWE, if you're hiring, let me know, buddy. I know.
The real reason he's doing the podcast is for WWE to pick him up.
Yep. Make shit happen. All right, so then tell me, you said earlier that you have this nonprofit, a foundation.
Yes.
Tell me about that, because
Yes.
that because I love someone famous, and I don't know exactly, and I'm not quoting it verbatim. I need to look it up what this quote is, but basically it says that in life you get what you get paid, but when you make other people's life by what you give. And the foundation, a nonprofit, is just, it's all about giving. But
yeah, if you read, like, I read Joel's Word every morning, and that is the exact message on it. It's like, God will continuously put people in front of you to help, and then it's only going to help yourself. Like, and not that I go around doing it because I'm like, oh, he's going to bless me more, but it's just so true.
But it will bless you more.
The doors that open for me, like, sometimes I'm just like, that's crazy, and I'm like, why me? And then I think, well, maybe because I just did that for that person or that, it's a true thing. Like, when people, when you do for others, like, it definitely not only makes you feel better, but it also, God's going to bless you,
Definitely. What is the foundation called?
It's called the Hatching for Health Foundation.
Okay.
And it's, obviously tied to the Hatching for Health show with me, your host, Jessica Hatch. And so just to kind of like give you the background on that name. So if you think about hatching, you think of an egg, like hatching, and that's why this show is for children. So It's like hatching into better health, right? And then naturally my last name is Hatch, so it kind of goes together. But the foundation, I just got the 501c, everything done with, the IRS and all that, like literally 5 months ago. So for a while I just had the show, and I anything I do with the show, it's right now just my money feeding into it. I don't have any sponsors or anything yet. And so, but I knew for me to really grow it, I needed to actually be like a nonprofit and have like the right paperwork in place and everything. And so I did just that, so I can truly help people, because, there's a lot of people out there that, long for opportunities and something might hit home for them. And then that's when they're like, hey, I want to donate to that child I saw on your show. I think that there's, a more in-depth research that can be done. So let me team up and help through your foundation. Perfect.
So basically, let's say if you bring somebody on your show, a child who has a disease or is sick or whatever they have, someone wants to donate it or any money and help them, they can help them through your foundation, Hatching for Health Foundation.
100%. And it's 100%, tax write-off for them. And it's like all going to the child. Right now, 100% goes to the children. And then if I'm doing anything like an event or something of that nature, like a portion would go to that. But I don't actually pocket anything. Right now, I just put money into it from my own business.
That's really great. And people should know about something like that, because if a lot of nonprofit organizations, there's some good ones out there, but there's a lot of them that only 60% or 65% goes to help people, or some even 50%.
Yeah.
So when you say that 100% of that is going to help that child or that person, to help them, that's something big.
Yeah.
That's huge.
No,
that's
definitely.
huge.
It's definitely, and I want to bring up a story right now, because it's currently a situation that we're trying to help a little girl. She's from the Philippines, and I got a phone call Thanksgiving week from a gentleman. He's a part of a company called Medic Corp, where they do like emergency. They go into countries that have like catastrophes, like tsunami or explosion or whatever, and they fly right in, and they're all like medically trained paramedics, and they just basically help people. They save their lives, right? And they fly in on helicopters. So they are doing a lot in the Philippines. And this little girl is someone that became close to them. And she's 10 years old, and she's got a heart condition that needs like basically surgery within 1 month. So he called me about it and was like, I remember meeting you at a medical conference. Do you still have Hatching for Health? I'm like, yes, of course. This is February of this year. And so he said, well, I don't know if you can help, but I know you have a lot of relationships in Houston, and maybe even other states. He's like, the child needs basically a cardiac thoracic surgeon to do a heart surgery on her. He's like, our biggest thing is the cost. Like, we're going to fly her there as part of Medic Corp's, basically on them. But we need the right doctor and hospital and anesthesia to either do it as a charitable case or give us a really good price point that we can then raise money for. So I'm right now basically tasked to help her. So I have like a quote from actually an Austin doctor in the works, and then one here in Houston for Children's Memorial Hospital. We do have one from Texas Children's, but it's pretty high. And so we're just basically trying to get the lowest number possible. And then my GoFundMe will go up for her. And again, 100%. So right now our highest quote's $159,000 for her surgery. I think that between the other two will fall in a little lower. But it's a life-saving surgery. Like, it's not something where she can wait till next year. Like, well, next year's around the corner, but they literally are like, you need to have this surgery this month. And her name is Esther Faith Batillo. If you look at my phone, she's actually my screensaver right now.
So if someone wants to donate, if someone is listening, someone is watching me on Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is, and they want to donate, how can they do it?
Yeah, so they basically go to the hatchingforhealth.org website, and there's like donate now tab. And I mean, they can donate right there.
And one more time, hatchingforhealth.org.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that 100% of their contribution or their donation, 100% of it will go to help Esther.
Yeah, 100% of it. So if someone, literally says, basically, I want to pay for her surgery, it's going to pay for her surgery.
How old is this little girl?
She's 10 years old. And the surgery she needs is usually done within the first year of a little girl's life. So it's a lot more risky right now, because the Philippines actually has the surgeons that should do it, but they won't take on the risk, which is the biggest, I don't know, I would say problem, but Texas Children's would have done it under their charitable funds. But because the Philippines has a surgeon that is capable of it, they denied the case to do it as a charitable. So that's why, that's basically where things got stuck. And he called me and he's like, hey, so the GoFundMe page, I haven't launched it only because he won't actually, the MediCorp guy is like, until we have the best, I don't want you to put out 159 if we're going to get it for 99. So he's like, until we get the other quotes, then you can release it, because we don't need to ask for more than we need. Right. So, which is smart. Like, I agree, but I'm like, but at least we know Texas Children's can do it for 159. So at least we're, proceeding and making that happen. But
have you raised any money for it?
I told him personally that I'm going to put in 5,000 regardless of what happens. But, so just me personally, but no, I have not. Cause I haven't, what you're doing right now, I am super appreciative. I've not gone publicly in any way to ask, if that makes sense.
And you will.
The GoFundMe is the public way, but we want to have the exact number. I have it ready, like it's all written up, and I actually posted it, and he said, let's wait for the other two quotes. I don't want to present a number that's going to be less than we have to pay. It's like, okay. So, I literally could have the emails in my inbox from those two other facilities. But yeah, it's, where you just like feel like it's going to happen, and like you're going to be part of making, that's how I feel like. I feel like it's, it's just a matter of like getting what I need from the doctors. Cause it's like, it's the professional fee, right? It's the facility fee, and it's anesthesia. And then there's like an echocardiogram, a few other diagnostics she'll need to have, like pre-op. But one more thing I will say is, I'm going to document her whole story, right? So we're going to do like a mini documentary, Hatching for Health is, for when she like lands to her visit with the doctor, to pre-op and post-op. And so anybody involved, will be obviously shared through that documentary, which will be something beautiful to have to,
It's something that everyone, saving a child's life is
like, who
priceless.
gets a chance to do that?
It's
like
priceless.
And yeah, I'm like, So
let me ask you another thing. You're in the health and wellness industry, right? Tell us some tips that you'll share with people. And you've competed at a high level, done a lot of health and wellness stuff.
Yeah.
Have a show. Any tips you can share with our listeners or viewers?
Yeah. So I think, a lot of us know that as it relates to, just what you're trying to maintain or get to, like 70, if not 80% of it is what we eat. But I also think as it relates to just like workouts in general, like it's very important to mix it up. Like, don't, be doing the same workouts like ongoing, like do some plyometrics, some agilities, like maybe a yoga class, but just to change it up. So your body is like, constantly, just trying to keep up, and it actually will help increase muscle tone. Yeah. So I personally do like a lot of sprints. I'll do like a jog, but then I'll end it with like 10, like 100-yard sprints. So I like stuff like that. And you'd be surprised. You do like things of that nature, like the plyo, the sprints, like you need less of like the long cardio and you know what I mean?
So you say you jog, long distance runner, short distance runner?
No, like I'll jog for, I will jog for like 30 minutes, but at the end of it, I'll do sprints, right?
Gotcha.
And I just feel like that makes such a difference. Like
Such a
to
difference.
kind of, tie in that and, but on the eating side, I know what to eat just from my fitness world, but
Quick question.
I do love like, a good drive-through sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
So if there's a restaurant you should go to in town, which one do you go to? What is your go-to restaurant?
yeah. So, okay. Restaurant. Cause I was immediately thinking like run through, grab something. Cause I go to Thai Bistro all the time, like right off 59.
Yeah.
It's just easy. But as far as like sit down restaurant, I love Toulouse. I love like their crab cakes and
I've never been there.
like
Toulouse.
their salad. Yeah, it's right in the River Oaks district.
Okay.
I really enjoy going there. It's got like kind of an indoor outdoor experience. So if it's like nice weather, you get to just sit outside. And right now it's really lit up with all the Christmas stuff.
Favorite food?
Favorite food is pizza. Still pizza. Yeah. It used to be protein bars when I was like doing the fitness stuff. I was so weird. But I would get so excited about a protein bar. It was like a treat.
Really?
Anyways.
So pizza is the favorite food. What is the best pizza restaurant you like? Or you don't care? Domino's it is.
I'm like, yeah, like, I mean, Papa John's on like kind of, that side.
Why you like Papa John's? Because of the garlic sauce?
I think just like the crust, like everything. Oh yeah, it's just like delicious. But yeah, I used to not be like a dipper, but now I'll like doing like ranch.
So I like Papa John's, but I like mod pizza.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's actually healthy too.
It's fast and they let you put whatever you want to put on there.
Yeah.
They even have gluten-free pizza.
I know, you're right. Well, and Domino's, I think most of them have a gluten-free option nowadays. Where
Yeah,
you, like,
most of them do. Jessica, when the show started, I told you it's about an hour long.
Yeah.
And you said, what? You're going to ask me about everything.
I know.
And what I tell you, there will be no awkward silences, right?
Right.
Was there any?
Has it already been?
It's been 58 minutes.
That's crazy.
You didn't believe me, did you?
No.
Did you like it?
You're too easy to talk to.
Did you have fun?
I did. No, absolutely. Like this was great.
I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you for sharing us your
Yeah.
life, your journey. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And you know what? I admire you for the nonprofit organization,
Thank
the
you.
charitable foundation. One thing I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What is the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal is to have Hatching for Health be a household name
Mhm.
and to be a national, if not international television show, something like Ellen DeGeneres or the Dr. Oz, where every day I have a new family with a new child and a new doctor coming on to talk about like what's going on and how we can help.
What are the 3 messages you would like to leave for future generation? Maybe your kids or
Mhm.
maybe for the world. What would it be?
I think I love the verse in Philippians. It's like we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a verse I've lived by.
Mm-hmm.
I also just kind of a quote like, our our body can achieve what our mind believes. I think I truly am a believer in that too. What you set your mind out to do, you can accomplish. I don't think that there's that you should put any limits on yourself, no matter what your upbringing. Just to truly like, and it's really easy to get caught up in what makes you money and what's going to get you by day to day. But I think to just devote time to like what your true passions are, like even a little bit every day, like you'll get somewhere, and then hopefully that can become your reality, what your dreams and passion is versus just what makes you money every day.
Number 3. Don't skip on me.
Oh, okay. So I also just think that, going back to just like God, I think that that's like a really big part of, it is a big part of my life. I think it's important. Even like right before we started, I would said a quick prayer. I was like,
Oh,
Lord,
good.
let this go well. Yeah. I always kind of put him first with everything I do. I'll walk into a meeting with a doctor, even if I've known him for years, like, Lord, allow the right things to happen. Allow me to say the right things to make this meeting go well. I kind of tend to do that, and it just kind of sets the ease or the tone. And it's like, if it's meant to go the way that it should, it will, because I
It will.
prayed about it, and that's kind of a way that
and
I,
you know what? Faith is really important. And I mean, I'm not gonna say what faith should anyone
Yeah.
be, but I mean, if someone believes in a higher being, I mean,
mm-hmm,
definitely faith is very important. Tips for, since you're an entrepreneur, a mover and a shaker,
mm-hmm.
With that hustle game always on your mind
Yeah.
to compete, leave some tips for some entrepreneurs, someone
Yeah.
who's thinking about, I want to start my own thing, or
Mm-hmm.
I want to be not a W-2 employee, but a contract employee or something like
Yeah.
that. Leave some tips for our listeners.
I think don't be afraid to put like the cart before the horse. That's actually typically something I do in almost everything. I think people, try and just have their eggs all lined up in just this perfect basket. And it's like, it really, the way people move these days, like you're too late. Like you just need to get out there and start, like whatever it is you're wanting to do. Like open the LLC. Like it's a simple $300 to open a company through the Secretary of State. I mean, I've opened all those doctors that I mentioned, the 90s, I opened all their companies to work through that program. But everything is much simpler than you think to just get a company opened, and then you can go from there. But don't be afraid to just like I said, kind of put the cart before the horse. And sometimes you might not have everything lined up, but just start. I think that's most important, just to start.
Okay, so that's one tip.
Oh.
Is there any other tip?
There's this one, and it's a little sheet in my drawer that this gentleman, Aladdin Sharnia, taught me. And it's like, where someone like you meet with them and they always have like good analogies and you're like, why can't I remember that? But it was this really, really good one. I'll have to text you later, but it's just, kind of it is about when you are like starting a business, like, you do need to have like, certain things lined up, right? Like you might not have like all the cash flow you need, but you do need to have some, liquidity basically. And, other things as it relates to, are you going to have partners? Are you going to do it individually? So I think kind of, putting it on paper and like, how am I going to,
put a plan on the paper and execute, like, and then look towards it.
Exactly.
Jessica.
And you wait, no, there was 3.
Oh, there's 3. Oh, you want one more tip? Okay, let's go. I didn't put a number, but let's do it.
No,
hey, I'm all ears.
I just like, no. So I think also just be careful like who you do business with, because I have, I don't want to say made the mistake, but I partner up with people like left and right. Like someone's like, because I get excited. Like I like starting new things. So someone like has an idea and I'm like, yeah. And I'll like run off and open a company with them. And then I'm like, oh, what do I do? So I think like if you can do things on your own, like, I mean, the less partners you have, sometimes is better. Like kind of figure it out first and then, look at, okay, maybe the next company, because you want to see what you can do individually before, you kind of lean on other people and, just make the most of what you're capable of.
So to sum it all up, sometimes later becomes never. Do it now.
Yeah.
It's the company you keep, so it's the partners you keep.
Yeah.
And too many hands in the stew. Too many hands spoils the stew.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, there you go. So you know what? I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it,
Definitely.
And
so The Rock come through.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking. One more thing. How can people find you? If they want to find you, they want to see, they want to know who you are. We know Hatching for Life.
Hatching for Health.
Hatchingforhealth.org.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How can they find you on Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah, so my full name is Jessica Dawn Hatch, and that's what my Instagram is, Jessica Dawn Hatch.
DAWN.
DAWN, yes.
Jessica Dawn Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, like I have that Instagram, and then my other companies will probably pop up, but I've got the Hatching for Health Instagram as well.
What about Facebook?
In Facebook, it's Jessica Hatch. And
are you public or are you private?
I'm public now with all of it. Yeah.
Okay. So Jessica Hatch on Facebook and Jessica Dawn Hatch
on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. LinkedIn.
LinkedIn Jessica Hatch. Yeah.
Awesome. So here y'all have it.
Yeah.
Powerful, inspiring messages from Jessica Hatch. Jessica, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.